Folks, we've got to enjoy this time. I mean, look, I know we're stressed a little bit about the election. I think he's going to win, so let's enjoy it. Got to work hard, got to vote, but think about it, all right? He's healthy. He's back on the campaign trail. Prayers answered. Anyone? Look, we've never had a president like this before. We never will have a president like this again. And in 50 years, they're going to be asking you, what was that like? What was it like when President Trump was president? I hope we're all going to be here in 50 years. Well, some of us will. Actually, I'll be close to 100 at that point. But you know what I mean. This is a unique time, and I think we should cherish it. A president who is unfiltered, who's honest, who is not a prisoner of the swamp, who's actually trying to fulfill the obligations that he made when he campaigned. This is so radical. This is so at odds with how politics are supposed to be conducted, how they're normally conducted in this country. He's not a politician. That's the key to understanding him. And by the way, he's having fun, so I think we should have fun. Have you heard the music lately? Hit it. You know, I like the way they open these rallies with Lee Greenwood. I like that song, but man, I love this. I love classic disco, and this is how they've been wrapping up the rallies lately, and it's fabulous. And I think, quite frankly, since COVID and since he beat it, I'm seeing an extra spring in his step. He realizes that he can beat anything. I mean, he's already beaten much of the government that tried to stop him, all of the media, the culture, the Hollywood culture, the coronavirus. He personally beat that himself. The only thing he's really got on his side, and it's the most important part, the people. Yeah, the people. And I know, I can feel it, that well over half of America is with him. He's going to win this thing, and he's going to win it decisively. Can't take it for granted. Got to get out there. But 4 years ago, you know what we were dealing with? The Access Hollywood tape. Yeah. People were for Trump, but it wasn't like this. I mean, this is wild, right? Now, how about Joe Biden? Let's take a look at his situation right now.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold.
I actually feel bad for him a little bit. Look, this is pathetic. Joe, I'm sorry. You bargained for this thing. I don't know what you gave away, but this is the result. Nobody is enthusiastic about him. Certainly no Republicans. Democrats, they have no use for this kind of a politician. They're only using him, quite frankly. Career politician who's made compromise after compromise, and no wonder why you're seeing such dismal turnout, Joe. And by the way, they can't get a straight answer out of him about anything. Packing the court? That's not too complicated a question. He's getting away with not answering it. The media have left him off the hook. Those moderators let him off the hook. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they're trying to rig it. It won't work, but they've tried. Meanwhile, we got our president dancing, I think, for joy. Only a handful of occasions have you seen President Trump dance. I think that came from, wow, it's great to be alive. And look at this. It was spontaneous, it was joyous, and that's what dancing is supposed to be. Of course, yes, the headlines were terrible. This was horrific. This was so unpresidential. This was, oh, the worst thing we've ever seen until the next thing they see. That's how it works with Donald Trump and the media. But I remember when another president danced. It was very choreographed, very scripted, but the media, they swooned when this happened.
All right, you got a little...
That was not spontaneous. You know how many conference calls they had about that little moment, right? picking the music and all that stuff. It was so choreographed, so planned. But the media, they ate it up. This was so badass and beautiful. They just could never get enough of this guy. Although, at the end, I think they realized he really wasn't into the media and he really wasn't into the country. Just didn't like people. Kind of a cold fish. When it came to accomplishments, he'll have to live with this. He only got 2 Supreme Court justices on the court in 8 years. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, in less than 4, will get 3. Yeah, Amy Coney Barrett will be confirmed. It is all but assured. And she is very, very impressive during these hearings. Did you see this?
You know, most of us have multiple notebooks and notes and books and things like that in front of us. Can you hold up what you've been referring to in answering our questions? Is there anything on it?
That letterhead that says United States Senate.
Reminds me of how I do this show, huh? Just me and an envelope. And 17 producers in the back. But very impressive. And that intellect. Look at this exchange. I think this was Klobuchar, recently failed presidential candidate, trying to take her down.
Is Roe a super precedent?
How would you define super precedent?
I might have thought someday I'd be sitting in that chair. I'm not. I'm up here, so I'm asking you.
Okay, well, people use super precedent differently.
Okay.
The way that it's used in the scholarship and the way that I was using it in the article that you're reading from was to define cases that are so well settled that no political actors and no people seriously push for their overruling. And I'm answering a lot of questions about Roe, which I think indicates that Roe doesn't fall in that category. And scholars across the spectrum say that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled, but descriptively it does mean that it's not a case that everyone has accepted and doesn't call for its overruling.
Any other questions, Senator? She totally nailed that and every other question that was put to her. Outclass these folks in every way. Ooh, this is embarrassing for Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrat from Hawaii. Have you ever heard of her? I did some checking. She's legit. She is technically a U.S. Senator, but her nickname, Lazy Hirono.
Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator Hirono.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
I'm going to come up with a new nickname for her, Crazy Hirono. You know, her kids were right there. And by the way, there are all kinds of questionnaires they've got to fill out, the nominee. They could have been kept in the questionnaire, don't you think? All right, there's more. Apparently, you can't do everything you want when you're a Supreme Court justice.
Judges can't just wake up one day and say, I have an agenda, I like guns, I hate guns, I like abortion, I hate abortion, and walk in like a royal queen and impose, their will on the world. You have to wait for cases and controversies, which is the language of the Constitution, to wind their way through the process.
Hey, I thought being a Supreme Court justice was supposed to be a cool job with a lot of power. What, you can't do what you want? Of course you can't. I get it. And she is I think they call it a textualist, trying to find out what that law meant originally. And I think that's the way to go. Hey, honorable mention here, Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, absolutely brilliant. That earlier point we showed that she had no notes. Every senator was reading from a huge briefing book. Senator Cruz wasn't. He speaks better than most people can write. An amazing intellect on that guy. Big future for Ted Cruz. 2024, 2028. Who knows? We will see. We could wind up on the Supreme Court, they say. All right, for the rest of us, here's a little tip. Coming November 3rd, that's 3 weeks from tonight, right? The election. I think we should stock up. Seriously, buy groceries, water, supplies. Who knows what's going to happen? Here in New York City, the police have put out basically a heads up to their cops saying there could be a lot of strife before, during, and after this election. Remember the protests we had during the summer? Could be a lot worse. We could see rioting. We could see who knows what. So let's start planning ahead. 3 weeks to go. Yeah, gonna want to take care of your families like a storm is coming, because could be. All right, meanwhile, you heard that Village People song at the beginning. I want to play it again. I think that's a great song. It's positive, it's pro-American, and I think the Village People themselves could use something of a shout out. Let's go ahead and hit it, please.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Here's the deal. The Village People are totally cool. You can keep that volume up if you don't mind. The Village People are totally cool with this song being played, including the lead singer. I talked to his wife today. Victor Willis is his name. And he wants everybody to know that he's totally cool with the president playing this. Hey, if Joe Biden wants to play it, he can play it too. But a great song, and it's very positive. It's very pro-American. There are some other interpretations that are, quite frankly, off, and that's not what the song is all about. That's what they told me, and yeah, growing up, anyway, it was a favorite of mine.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.